Today we're going to show you how to change a song into a nightmare using some basic plugins you can find in your editor or digital audio workstation, perfect for your upcoming horror film. Welcome to the Film Look. Today's sponsor, PremiumBeat.com, has provided the music we're using in this episode. Go check out their royalty-free library next time you need a great track for your film or video. We've added a link in the description below. In our short film, The Asylum Groove, we wanted to emphasise a disturbing scene by slowly manipulating the music from a lovable and heartfelt song into something twisted and disturbing to give the impression our character is slowly realising he is trapped in a nightmare. We did this with some default plugins found in Adobe Audition. The plugins we used can also be found in Premiere and other editors, and even free DAWs like Audacity. So if you don't have access to purchased products, you can still achieve this effect. If you want to watch the scene we will be referencing, there is a card up in the corner and a link in the description. The trick to making this technique work is juxtaposition, which is essentially a fancy word for something with heavy contrast. The heavy contrast for this technique is picking a song which you'd not recognise as being scary, spooky, or horror-like, which means when we manipulate it, it will amplify the juxtaposition and we will be left with something very disturbing to add to the freaky images on screen. Juxtaposition is the exact reason why Tiptoe Through the Tulips was so scary in the film Insidious. Go check it out, there's a card here and a link down below. The nightmare scene in The Asylum Groove also includes some sound design elements to help emphasise the disturbing scenario even further. We have a video all about sound design elements and how to use them. If you want to know more, we've popped a card in the corner and a link in the description. Alright, well that's enough card dumping for now, so let's get started. I downloaded a song from Premium Beat called Devoted to You. It's cheerful and positive. Let's have a listen. The first thing we want to do is play with the EQ and reduce the full of life sound into something small and tinny. We can do that by selecting an EQ plugin. I'm in Audition, but this will work in pretty much any editor or DAW. I'm going to be using the 10-band graphic equalizer. This is one of the easier EQ plugins to wrap your head around, but also gives some flexibility. Right now the EQ is in a straight line. This means the frequency bands are all even. To make this song sound tinny and reduce its fidelity down to something more sinister, we want to create a ramp going uphill and to the right. Reducing the bands on the left will cut the bass from the song, and increasing the bands on the right will amplify the treble, giving us a very low fidelity song which sounds like it's coming from an old cheap speaker. Sometimes when you play with these plugins you might notice it starts to clip the audio. If this happens, you will find a master gain fader somewhere in the plugin which you can adjust to stop it from peaking. Obviously this is all to your taste, so if you want to do something slightly different for your film, you go ahead. Let's have a listen to see what we've got so far. The next thing we want to do is add some reverb into the mix. There are a ton of different reverb plugins and settings, so I would suggest picking something straightforward like convolution reverb and trying out different presets until you find something you like. The purpose of this plugin is to give the impression that the room is now bigger. More reverb basically means more space for sound to bounce around an enclosed space. So by adding reverb into the song, we are trying to make the character seem smaller in the scene by increasing the size of the room. This is psychological emphasis. Let's have another listen. Next up we have pitch shifting, which is the first plugin which really gives the song an eerie and uncomfortable feeling, contributing to the nightmare effect. With this plugin you want to be very subtle. If you go too far in either direction, you get chipmunks, or you get a bad Darth Vader impression. So be sensitive with this one. With the pitch shifter, we will decrease it 2 semitones. This will make the song change in key and will start to sound a little weird. Next up we have echo. This is very similar to reverb, but instead of simulating a change in the size of the room, we are creating feedback which echoes more clearly. The idea behind this plugin is to generate a disturbing, paranoid voice in the back of the character's head, as the vocals repeat over and over from the echo. Play around with the echo presets until you find something which has a tight echo with a quick decay. You don't want something which lingers too long or has an extended delay. A delay plugin will also give pretty similar results. Let's have a listen. Last but not least, we have chorus and flanger. This effect is basically to create the most weird sounding, alien abduction simulating, vocally destroying sound effect. This effect will add some paranoid static to the mix and will throw the sound from left to right and back again. We can go aggressive with this one. We want to hear it slowly destroy the song. Let's have a listen and see what we've got. Once you have your song completely messed up and sounding very sinister, we can fade in the effects. To keep it simple, I'm just going to duplicate the track and crossfade between the clean song and the crazy weird one. You will want to choose the best time to cross between the realms in your film, and something to consider is actually fading in each effect separately. To sell the effect even further, I added a few sound design elements along with some Foley art and the dialogue in the scene. And you wouldn't know, we actually have a video about Foley art. There's a card in the corner and a link in the description. This is the final song in the scene, coupled with the sound effects and production audio. Let us know how you will use this technique in your next film, or if you think of a different idea, let us know in the comments below. If you liked or disliked this, you can vote with your thumbs, hit that orange lens cap if you haven't subscribed, and remember to achieve it one plugin at a time.